everybody, Phil here for AndroidCentral.com, and here's your walkthrough with the Motorola Xoom. For all intents and purposes, it's a pretty simple and just easy to understand tablet. So it's a 10.1 inch screen diagonally. When we talk screen size, that's what we're talking in the diagonal measurement. There are no moving parts on this thing, almost none. We'll say almost none. So the front is just dominated by this 10-inch screen, and then you have a little 2 megapixel camera, front-facing camera there, and that's it. And the Verizon logo, you got a little light sensor down here. And otherwise, it's just all screen, all tablet. Flip it over, and you have a nice back. Metal down here on the bottom. You got a little rubber coating up here, up top. Stereo speakers. These things are loud. I'm always pretty critical of speakers because I love listening to podcasts and just not necessarily music, but internet radio, news, stuff like that. These speakers are so loud they will actually distort a lot of the time, and almost they're too loud. So that's something you got to be a little careful of. Got a 5 megapixel camera on the back. This thing shoots at 720p for video. Dual flash, which if you're into flash, whatever. But here's the thing, you're not going to be walking around town using this tablet as a camera. It looks and feels more than a little ridiculous. And then you have the power and unlock button here on the back. And we'll talk about that in a second. So yeah, metal can get a little scuffed up. This thing is a fingerprint magnet no matter how you hold it, no matter what you do. And you see we're already picking them up here. Down here on the bottom, we have your micro USB spot. And that port does not actually charge the device. That's this little hole right here. Has a proprietary charger, which is unfortunate, but when you have these larger batteries, you're gonna have to get used to these things, right? Even with the Dell Streak, it started with that. There's your little microphone hole, and this thing doesn't do voice calls yet. I'm waiting for somebody to hack that in there. There is little gold contacts for charging on the dock, and then you have micro HDMI out, so you can output high-def video. Honeycomb, if you haven't seen it by now, here it is, right? Honeycomb Android 3.0 is optimized for tablets. Oh, fingerprints. The screen, for as big and beautiful as it is a fingerprint magnet, and it almost feels like it's charged somehow because it just picks up every little speck of dust. So you're going to want to keep a cleaning cloth around if you get one of these. If you haven't seen Honeycomb yet, very nice. Widgets, they now move and do even more than they did before. Here are the browser bookmarks. Scrollable, nice, huh? Good to finally see that. Here's your new app drawer. This is all stock and reverted back, so nothing else has been downloaded. Google Books, you got a new browser, camera. And we've seen all this, we've walked through it before. The camera app, let's see. Again, it's weird walking around with this thing set on video. When you turn it on the camera, it looks even more ridiculous. It's just so huge. Let's see what else we got. Movie studio, you can record video using this. It's almost so, it's not that it's bad, but it's bad. It's not user-friendly at all. I'm not even gonna show it to you. It's pretty tough, it's not intuitive, and you're not gonna be editing video on this yet. Who are we kidding? You got the game Cordy. We'll fire it up here so you can see it. It's nice, it's fun. Go tool around, use little levels and do stuff. Now remember, this thing is powered by a dual core 1 gigahertz Tegra 2 processor. All you need to know is it's fast, and graphics look great. No lag here whatsoever. Very cool. So not too terribly many Tegra optimized apps out there yet in games, but there are a few, and the ones that are out there are just beautiful. Now that's not to say your other apps won't run. Chances are they will, especially now that we've had a couple weeks under our belts and developers have been able to tweak things if they weren't running right. You still don't have a lot of new applications or old applications that are now optimized for the screen size. When we talk about Honeycomb, there's a thing we call fragments, and we've talked about this before. So you can have kind of 2 different things going on the screen at the same time. And one key aspect of that is found in Gmail, right? So here on the right, I have my inbox. You see all my secrets. Woo! And on the left, you have your labels and inbox, outbox, all that crap. You know, just all your labels. And you can take an email, put it in the trash, put it in the spam. Will it come down? No, it won't come down. So once you see it, you can drag it and do whatever. It's kind of cool. Those are fragments. Like them a lot. A new music app. We've seen that before. But you gotta have music on your device to use it. And actually, that brings us to a good point. So if you plug your device in, it's gonna see the 32 gigabytes of internal storage and just work automatically. As we all know, out of the box right now, you know, even 2 or 3 weeks after launch, the micro USB or the micro SD card, which is right here, it's spring loaded, but right now it just has this little plastic thing, you can't even see it. It has this little plastic insert in there because the micro SD card does not work. And also things that don't work, the LTE SIM card. So here's the tray for it. You get a little plastic holder, pops in like that, real simple. But LTE is not working yet. So you're gonna have to send this thing back to Motorola here in a couple months. We don't know exactly when yet, and then you'll be without it for 6 days. Not too happy about that. Also top here, you got the 3.5 millimeter headphone jack. So for all intents and purposes, this is kind of the developer device for Honeycomb. Look at the settings here for a second. Have all the usual networks and Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, everything you're used to. Another way when we talk fragments, right? So in regular, I call it regular Android, but anything pre-Honeycomb, this would be one screen, this would be one screen. In Honeycomb, you can have them on the same screen, so that's kind of nice. I like that a lot. Another fun feature of Honeycomb is it will work in any orientation. Portrait, landscape, all 360 degrees. Now that's not necessarily true for all of your apps. A lot of apps you run will only work in one orientation, and maybe you hold it this way, maybe you hold it this way, maybe you hold it this way. It just kind of depends. It's a little frustrating, so I can't wait for things to finish up there. There you just saw a Gmail notification pop up. That's where they come. So it really is a simple experience for as much new stuff as we have in Honeycomb, and there's a whole bunch of new stuff, especially in the browser. Looks a whole lot like Chrome. Here's one of my favorite things about the browser. Here, we'll fire up Android Central. There's your keyboard. Android Central. So if you go into the browser settings, and we'll do a whole other post on this later, you have this labs feature and quick controls. That will move things into full screen. And then you get these little thumb controls here. Back, forward, refresh, bookmarks, menu. Very cool, I like that a lot. There's your browser. Works very, very nicely, I like it. Again, you've probably heard that, you know, Honeycomb crashes, it's not ready. I wouldn't say it's not ready, I'd say it's very version 1.0 as far as the tablet OS goes. I'm really enjoying using it. The Xoom itself is pretty heavy. It's 1 pound 6 ounces, 1.6 pounds. So it's tough on the wrists. 7 inches might be a little better, or maybe the second generation when things just get lighter and easier to handle. But all in all, a nice device, solid Motorola build. And I'm really impressed with Honeycomb and really looking for good things from it. It's version 1, it'll get better, so we'll see. Alright, that's it guys, we'll see you later.